Peace, everybody. This is Brandy Pettyjohn back with another installment of Dr. Artist. I am the photographer and narrator of this vlog. This week, I'm covering Mausiki Scales. He is the creator or founder of the Common Ground Collective. He's a musician as well as a teacher. And so usually, I guess what I'll let y'all know is how did I meet these people? How do I come across these people? So I've known about Mausiki Scales and the Common Ground Collective for a while because they've been at various places and performed, and they've also been a part of Art Beats and Lyrics. And I think eventually you just kind of figure out who's who, but if you don't care to know, or if you don't know, Mausiki is the one that usually sits in the back on the keys, so he's kind of like tucked away, in the performance. And so I think that's why I kind of knew who he was, but I really didn't know who he was. So I remember last summer seeing him at the park, and I was like, oh, hi, you're in Art Beats and Lyrics. I'm in Art Beats and Lyrics. And he was like, yeah. And it was like, all right, then, see you later. So I think this year is when we kind of, really got to be like, oh, hey, how you doing? So I found out eventually that he's a little bit the silly individual to me. And so that's good for me because I don't really do serious that well. And I think that sometimes when you don't know people, everybody comes off kind of serious and, staunch. And he's not that kind of person, at least, what I've seen so far. So that was good. So within doing this doc series, I talk to the artists and I kind of figure out what they do to make this maybe a little bit more interesting. So one of the things that I found out is that he's also an educator, and right now he's teaching a class up at Morehouse College on African American history. And I think that's pretty cool. As I sat in the class and I sat in the back and I took pictures, and I really didn't want to get all up in the space and interrupt the flow of the conversation that they were having. But within that, you're sitting there and it's like, this is cool. You have this young black guy teaching young black males. And to me, there's just something in there that's important about that. So I'm going to go back to the Common Ground Collective, and I'm going to situate this a little bit in the ideal of Pan-Africanism that I think that Mausiki circulates itself with. And this is the root image, or the ideal that he operates from, is this core of Africanism that he brings into not only his teachings but also into his life and into his music. And so the group that he has that comes together performs not only their own original work, but they also perform soul music hits, hip-hop, and fela. So when they come out, you have these people, and a lot of them have dreadlocks, and it's like, what's going on with these cats? And then all of a sudden, their faces are painted and they're doing this music, and some people are acquainted with fela and some people aren't. So for people to get that first is like a slow build, and eventually you have this I don't want to say explosion because that's like very dramatic, but you have this eruption of music that come together with the crowd, and then you really have this really organic, pure party that happens that people are really happy to be a part of and to see. And for me, this comes into play from an African standpoint because you have a collective of people, and the collective of people all matter, and they all add something to this pot called a musical experience. So not only do you have the people in the band who are performing, and those people come in and out. Some people are there sometimes, some of them are not. And then you also have the crowd aspect that is needed to make that whole music thing work in an organic way, in a way that is that makes the Common Ground Collective really collective, not only with themselves but with everybody that comes in contact with music and the performance. And I think that that is the that speaks to some Africanism. For me, if people come away with the fact that people create music or create their art from a basis of community and love, because I believe that the love and the community come, have that same root, then you will create some good stuff. So the information is scrolling across the screen. You can hit me up at brandy'sthephotographer.com if you have any questions. And thank you guys for coming out. Peace.